Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. It is the day after the unfortunate game before, if we're going to be brutally honest, and emotions are running high. Tempers are not in check. People are angry. Pitchforks are out. And Spurs fans, in the main, maybe 50-50, are demanding new management. Now, look, I'm going to try and go through the good, the bad, and the ugly this morning, try and keep a bit of a reasoned head on this, and have a look at what is it that Spurs fans are unhappy about? Is it just in the moment? Are we confusing years and years and years of mismanagement from a club perspective, and now it's all falling on Thomas Frank? Is Thomas Frank terrible? Do fans give any managers any time? Am I guilty of this in the past? Are you guys guilty of it? Are we guilty of it right now? What's going on? Let's have a bit of a deep dive and let's have a look, because I'm of the opinion, and I said this all summer, that this club is not going to be fixed, whatever you think that might mean, overnight. This club is not going to be fixed in 3 or 4 months and a manager having 12 games. This club is not going to be fixed with one transfer window. This club is not going to be fixed that quickly. Now, I get it. As a Spurs fan, it's all relative. It's all relative, right? If you were going to have this conversation with fans who support clubs in League One, League Two, clubs that yo-yo up from the Conference League to League Two, they'll be going, what are these Spurs fans moaning about? What do you mean? Look at them. They've got a massive stadium. They've won a European trophy. What is wrong with them? And it's all perspective, isn't it? It's all context. It's all about the situation you are in individually as a fan and as a club. And for me, I'll set my stall out, and then I'm going to break it down in terms of the ownership, the manager, and the players. And for me, I've said for a long time, and this is only Savva's personal opinion. I can only talk about my personal opinion. I know there's a lot of anger out there. A lot of people, you said this, you this. All these childish YouTubers that want to talk about mud and receipts. I don't care about all that. I care about what is best for Tottenham Hotspur and what is happening at Tottenham Hotspur and what needs to happen moving forward. Now, I'm of the opinion that I think Tottenham has been badly run for a long time. I don't think I've made any secret of that. I certainly haven't pretended that we've got great owners and everything is great and that I think every player is amazing. We should be winning every trophy. That's not who I am, and that's not where I am as a football fan. Forget that I'm a YouTuber. That's not where I am as a Spurs fan. Looking from the outside in at Tottenham Hotspur, I think there are massive issues, and I think there has been for a very long time. Now, did Spurs try and address that in the summer? Well, you would have to say they started, right? You would have to say they started. And this isn't a short fix. This isn't I don't like this word really, but this isn't a project where you look at and say, right, well, this is going to be done quickly. This is, for me, I think Spurs put the building blocks in place at the beginning of the summer to have a look at what can we be, what can we develop into moving forward as a football club. Now, some people might think that's absolute tosh, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. No need to be so angry about it. Madness, honestly, madness, how angry some people are at the moment. But I'm also of the opinion that trying to undo years and years and years and years of damage is going to take years and years and years the other end. And we've seen that across multiple football clubs. This isn't new to Tottenham. This isn't an isolated experience to Tottenham Hotspur. Unfortunately, when your club is run poorly for so many years, when you don't buy quality players, when you constantly change your recruitment plans, when you constantly change the style of player you're bringing in for different managers with different setups, unfortunately, you will hit that brick wall where it all comes to a head And you say, well, look, aren't we in a bit of a mess? And I think Spurs hit that a long time ago, but kept going. We kind of hit that wall, kept going through that wall, kept doing it, kept making the same mistakes. And I think we still made those same mistakes in the summer. Now, we know the summer was, it was busy. It was lively from a Tottenham Hotspur perspective, definitely as a YouTuber, but as a Tottenham fan, the summer was crazy. You've got the Europa League win, followed by 2 weeks later, the manager goes, followed by a week later, a manager comes in with all of his backroom staff, followed by a new CEO in terms of Vinay Venkatesham started in the summer officially. Peter Charrington, who was within the club in the background, takes over from Daniel Levy as non-exec director. You've got the brand new football director partnership with Lang and Paratici. You've got a brand new medical staff. And you look at it and go, wow, that's a hell of a lot to change in one summer. And my personal opinion, I've said this all year, I haven't changed. Nothing has changed my mind. And we'll get to the Arsenal game in a minute. We'll get to Thomas Frank. Nothing has changed my mind. I haven't seen any signings. I haven't seen any signs at the club where I think, yeah, they mean business. Yeah, this is all going to change immediately. Now, I'm not shocked at not seeing that because I don't think that's who the owners are. I don't think that's who the club are. But I think there are many fans that kind of did think that. I think there's a lot of fans that, first of all, refused to believe that this squad wasn't as good as they thought it was. As I've said before, I think winning the Europa League, absolutely brilliant. Gets us into the Champions League, much needed. Ange did a good job in the Europa League. It got the trophy, the whole kind of trophy hysteria off of our back. But I do believe that winning that trophy actually papered over cracks from a perspective of fans thinking, oh, look how good we are. But not taken away from the cup wins. I know that people can't put two and two together. They listen to one thing and go, oh, Savva didn't want to win a trophy. It's not the case at all. So it then turns to, right, whoever the manager is. Now, we can talk all day long. Whenever we talk about managers, we could literally remove the manager's name in brackets, insert any other name we want, and we're still having the same conversation. Now, what do I mean by that? Tottenham Hotspur, right now, it's Frank. Thomas Frank is the devil, right? So right now, Thomas Frank is the devil. Oh my God, he's had 12 games. Look how shit we are. We can't play football. He's not upskilled anyone. The results, there's no battling. There's no composure. What's he done? I don't know his philosophy. What's he trying to do? He's a coward. Yada, 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 yada. Fine, and we'll come to that in a minute. Ange. There was loads of us that didn't want Ange, right? Ange is this, Ange is that, Ange is this, da, 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 ba, 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 da, da, da. Fine. Before that, Conte's this, Conte's that, Conte can't do this. Oh my God, he's not as good as we think. He's not been backed, yada, yada. Same with Nuno. He's boring. He's this, he's that, he's that, he's the other. Now, we're all guilty of this. I am as guilty as the next person as this. We are all guilty of this. We are all guilty of looking at managers and going, God, the grass is going to be greener on the other side. We are all guilty of the style of play we like and must demand. Yeah, and that doesn't mean it's the same style of play that we all must like and we all must demand, but we're all guilty of it, right? And by the way, just let me caveat right now, I want to see free-flowing football as well. I'm just somebody that doesn't think we've got the players to do it. I don't rate many of these footballers. I've said it time and time again. I don't apologize for that. It is what it is. I don't look at many of these players and go, yeah, we can play. I think there's a difference when you go a goal down and suddenly you've got to find a bit of tempo. But in terms of starting a game, controlling a game, playing through the midfield, we don't have footballers that do that. We genuinely don't. We've signed really poorly over the years. Levy and Enoch, we can't just say Levy because Enoch is still here. Levy and Enoch, for me, have signed very poorly. Use the midfield as an example. How they've managed to congregate a group of midfielders of Bergvall, Gray, Sarr, Paulinho, Bentancur and Basuma, I think is absolute ignorance, negligence, I think it's piss poor. It's lazy. And you look at that group of midfielders and go, oh, like, well, I do. I go, well, what are we doing? Now, we'll have fans that start pretending, go, Gray can do this. Bergval, Sarr, oh my God. Benton. I look at it and go, it's all right. I don't look at it and go, top four. I don't look at it and go, yep, we should be challenging. Now I add that to the forward list as well. How have we managed over the years to go from Son, Kane and Bale to Odegaard, Tell, Richarlison, Johnson, Mawani, Solanke? How have we managed to do that? But I digress. So when I look at that, when I look at what Spurs have done, what we've put together, the managers that we like, the managers we don't like, at what point do we sit here and say something's not right? There's no plan. At what point do we say this? What is the plan? And if again, I'm trying to remove emotion from yesterday's game. What is the plan? Because I don't think this is just a manager issue. As I said, we're gonna get to Thomas Frank in a bit. Don't worry, we're gonna get to Thomas Frank in a bit. I don't think this is just a manager issue where we suddenly go, oh my gosh, the manager's terrible. He's everything wrong at the club. I think this manager, I'll tell you, let's talk about Thomas Frank right now. Thomas Frank has disappointed me. He has. I like him. I think he's a good coach. I think he needs time. I am in no way in even 1% of me saying Thomas Frank out. I think that's really silly. But he has disappointed me. He has gone, it's almost like he's gone super cautious because he's scared of losing. And on the one hand, as a human being, you get it. On the other hand, you go, if you keep doing that, then we'll never know. Now, am I expecting, again, this is just me being completely honest with you all, right? As I said, everyone knows I like Thomas Frank. I think it will come good. I think it needs years and years and years. However, we'll get to that in a minute. But he has disappointed me. There has been games where I look at it and I think, oh, we were unlucky there. And then there's been games where you go, could we not have pressed at least? Could we not have done a little bit more? Now, I'm not expecting, as you all know, I'm not expecting Spurs are going to play great football. I don't think we've got the players for it. I don't expect to see it. What I do expect from a manager is just to find a way to make us a bit more competitive. And that is a worry for me. That's a concern. Now, I think as a grown-up, as an adult, as a human being, I can have that concern without just going out, Frank out, right? Frank out, right? I think I can have that concern. And people go, oh, this is your manager. Well, it's not my manager. It's everyone's manager, right? I don't like all this mud throwing and point scoring. We are where we are. He's done things that have impressed me. I mean, up until yesterday, we were very good defensively. I mean, yesterday, we'll talk about that in a minute, but he's impressed me on that front, making us harder to beat. But for me, it was interesting hearing Manny say yesterday, does the handbrake need to come off a little bit? Or it might have been James Flower. And yes, I think the handbrake needs to come off a little bit. Yes, I do. I do also think that fans think that if you let the handbrake off, suddenly you're this really good team going forward. I don't think that's going to be the case. So I think we're going to see what happens if he does that. Now, Thomas Frank, for me, need that. That's his job. This is, again, as I said at the beginning of the show, Thomas Frank in brackets. We could use any name we want in there, right? Any name we want. Whoever the manager is needs to find a way. Now, has it happened so far to appease the fans? No, it hasn't. Are some fans more patient than others? Yes, they are. Are lots of fans after instant gratification? Yes, they are. Are fans frustrated because they've been patient for years and years and years and they want instant gratification? Yes, and I get it. I completely get it. It's frustrating. And I think this is what happens when you start again and again and again and again and a plan and a new plan, plan A, plan B, plan C, plan G, plan Z. This is what happens. And unfortunately now we have hit a wall where all has come together at the wrong time or the right time, whichever way you look at that. And we're all asking, well, what happens next? What happens next? And for me, I think it's quite simple. I think time and patience are needed. Sometimes in life, you have to go through short-term pain for long-term gain. Now, that's not always guaranteed. I can't sit here and guarantee anybody that if we go through this short-term pain this season, that next season, right? Long-term gain. I can't guarantee that. But in life, sometimes you have to go through that pain. And I hate to say it, fans are going to get annoyed at this. Arsenal went through it. When Arteta rocked up at Arsenal, they finished 8th, and 5th in the first 3 seasons. Fans complaining about the style of play. Who is this bloke? This guy puts out cones for Pep Guardiola. He's not even a manager. What are we doing? We're a big club. We should have a proper manager. And let's be fair, as Spurs fans, we're all looking in at that and going, gutted, you've got Arteta. Hope he stays there for years. Well, be careful what you wish for, because he has stayed there for years. Arsenal have backed him, and now they look the odds-on favourites to win the Premier League. They're also, by the way, the favourites for the Champions League. Now, I am not sitting here saying they're going to win both. They should win the Premier League from the position they're in. They've got the best squad. They've got the best depth. They've got 2 players in every position. They should win it. And I'm just using them as an example. There's other examples. Eddie Howe took his time going at Newcastle, went in there, took time, built them, grew them, got Champions League a couple of times, won a cup. Iriola, the one that loads of Spurs fans want. By the way, this is how contradictory Spurs fans are. Thomas Frank, it's too big a step up from Brentford. Iriola's the guy. Hang on, aren't Bournemouth like the same level as Brentford? Like in terms of, aren't they the same kind of clubs? You know, came up a few years back, stayed up, done well, small club, small stadium, like playing once a week. So again, I always think be very careful what you wish for. Now that is not, and again, I always have to caveat what I say. I always have to caveat what I say because fans don't listen. I like Iriola as a manager. But right now, if you bring in Iriola and people want to see this better football, you've got to ask yourself this question. How long did it take Iriola to coach it into Bournemouth? It took him months and months and months. How much coaching time will he have on the pitch while we're playing 2 games a week? Not a lot. Will he have the players there to do with what he needs to do? I don't think so. Does Iriola ever change up his tactics and formation? No, he doesn't. Now, that doesn't mean I don't like him as a manager. I'm looking at reasons why fans that want him now, he will come in, have 3-4 months, and then people will do the same. They will. It's human nature. They will go, see, he could do it at Bournemouth, but he can't do it at Spurs. It's too big a jump. He's playing twice a week. He's never managed in Europe. Yada, 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 yada. Fine. Glasner's another one. Glasner plays one style. And for some people, they love that style, the wing-backs. But what if Glasner came in here immediately and went, I've not got what I need. It's going to take me time. Are we going to turn around and go, no, you haven't got time, mate. You've got 3 months. And my point is not that I don't like Glasner or Iriola. My point is not that I will die on a hill for Frank. If you sack Thomas Frank now, he gets sacked. I've said this before. No one listens. I was cut off all last night when I tried to say this. As a football fan, I am not married to a manager. And what I mean by that is if I wake up tomorrow and Frank's gone, I can have my opinion on it. I can say, oh, that's ridiculous. But then the new manager comes in and we go again. Because in my 40-odd years of supporting Spurs, I've seen so many managers. Some you like, some you don't. But they move on. Players move on. Managers move on. It's the way of life. I would have no problem if Glasner was hired, if Iriola was hired, if Xavi Hernandez was hired. Hire whoever you want. But in 3 months, are we going to be saying the same thing? When the results are roughly the same? Are we going to be saying the same thing? Are we going to realize at that stage, you know what, this might be the players? Now, yes, people at this stage, I know exactly what will happen. Oh, you weren't saying this under Ange. Well, Ange finished 17th with 22 defeats. I will say this now. I said this before. If Thomas Frank finishes 17th with 22 defeats, you better bet your bottom dollar that I want that guy out the club as well. But managers need time and patience, hence the title. Do I like what I'm seeing from Spurs at the moment? Absolutely not. I'm with you lot. But this Thomas Frank out. Fine. Everyone's then got their own idea of who the next man should be. So straight away, whoever the next man is, let's play this game. So Thomas Frank, hypothetically, he goes today. Not happening, but he goes today, right? Spurs bring in Glasner. Half the fan base go, oh, I love Glasner. Look what he's done at Palace. Oh, I love Glasner. Yeah, I love the free at the back. Yeah. The other half of the fan base are going to go, it's okay doing it at Palace. I don't want to see free at the back. He never changes his tactics. And straight away, Glasner's under the microscope for 3 months. Sorry, Glasner. You know what? You didn't win 9 of your first 12 games in charge. See you later, mate. Bye-bye. See you later. Iriola could come in and go, I need time. I need transfer windows. I need players. Our fans wouldn't let that happen. And I get it. It's not good. This is not me excusing that I'm liking what I'm seeing. But at what stage do we all put on our big boy and big girl pants and say, we're going to go through a rough period? Because that's what we're going through right now. We're going through a rough period. And that doesn't mean the manager doesn't need to change and adapt. Of course he does. That doesn't mean the manager doesn't need to try and change things. Of course he does. That doesn't mean that suddenly the players are good enough. Of course it doesn't. It doesn't mean the owners don't need to do more. Of course they do. But we're in an era now where if we're going to sack managers after 12 Premier League games, you are going to alienate players. You are going to alienate managers from joining the club because they are going to look and go, what is going on? Managers might look over. They might. I mean, you're going to get managers either way because they want money. Of course they do. But you're going to get managers that look over and say, they gave Thomas Frank 12 games. How long do I have? What do I need to achieve in 12 games? What can I achieve in one transfer window? So for me, I think, listen, it's not great. I'm not sitting here saying it is. Loads of people will just make up their own narrative. Loads of people will watch this and still think that I think everything is great. I don't. I think I said at the beginning of the season, we're going to have some good ups and some bad downs this year. We're going to have lots of ups and downs. We're going to go through a lot of pain. We're going to have games where we love and games where we hate. But unfortunately, lots of managers have been through that. Jurgen Klopp went through that at Liverpool. To a lesser degree, Pep Guardiola at Man City. And no, for those out there, I'm not comparing Frank to those managers. I'm just using new managers that started at a club. Glasner at Palace, Iriola at Bournemouth, Eddie Howe at Newcastle, Thomas Frank at Brentford. All of these different things, it takes time. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. There's no guarantees in life. But right now, I'm going to ask this question. Do we want to put on our big boy and big girl pants and let the manager do his thing and then see where we are at the end of the season, see where we are after next summer's transfer window? Or are we literally going to sit here on the 24th of November when we're 3 points off the top 4 and say, get him out, this is dreadful, this is shit, blah, blah, blah. That's the question you've got to ask yourself. And I know online fans are more impatient than any other fan base, any other sections of the fans. I get it. But if we do this, this is a dangerous precedent. That doesn't mean Thomas Frank gets unlimited rope. Doesn't mean he gets unlimited rope. Keep going, But there needs to be a time where you go, let's give time. And then if it doesn't work, if you get to the end of the season and it's all dreadful, the new players haven't worked out, nothing's developed, nothing has incrementally improved, then you turn around and go, this hasn't worked. But are we really going to be the club that does it after 12 games? So for me, I think time and patience are needed. And maybe I'm learning lessons from the way I've been in the past with different managers and yada, yada. I don't know. But Right now, I don't know. I'll be honest, guys. I feel deflated. Like, I don't know I've got the energy for another manager change. By the way, we don't make the decision. So when people say you're manager, you're this, you're that, you gutted, I don't make the decisions at this football club. If I made the decisions at these football clubs, half these footballers, nearly most of this squad would never have been signed. Right? So I don't mind who comes in as manager of this football club. But if you don't back them, if you don't give somebody some time to try and plan, try and build, and some time to go through some pain for long-term gain, then we're going to be stuck in this vicious cycle for years and years and years and years, and nothing is going to change. Arteta's been at Arsenal 6 years. It's paying off. Guardiola has been at Man City for what, 9 years, 8 years? Klopp was at Liverpool for how many years? Fergie at United, Wenger at Arsenal, Eddie Howe's been at Newcastle for ages. Unai Emery's now, what, 3.5 years at Aston Villa? At some point, we're going to have to stick instead of twist. I can't tell him. I'm not telling anybody to want Frank, to like Frank at all. If you don't like him, you don't like him. That's fine. I'm just asking some questions. That's all. I'm just asking some questions. What do we want to be as a fan base? What do we want to be as a football club? And are we going to make that judgment 12 games into a Premier League season? I don't know. The football was shocking yesterday. Not the first time it has been this season. It's not acceptable. But you know what? That's for the manager to learn and grow and sort out. And I'll ask you this. Imagine if you started a new job within 3 or 4 months, yeah? You'd done okay, but nothing special. When you were sacked, you'd say, I've just started. So I'll leave it there. Thank you for your nice comments. By the way, people, I have closed down my fhtv email address after getting some death threats over the last 48 hours. Some real abuse, people talking about my wife, people just, it's been horrendous. I have collated it all and will be sending it to the police, but it's ridiculous. So I have closed down that channel of communication. All I ask is please just comment about football in the chat. That's all you've got to do. Listen, much love. Come on, you Spurs, and let's hope for a brighter future. Take care, everyone. And as always, come on, you Spurs.